Hi, and welcome back to Stitchcraft. My name is Mary the Stitchcraft Queen, and today is Wednesday, June 25th of 2025. Mind-blowing that we're already at the end of June. Me and my husband last night were saying that this year has both just like flown by so fast, but then there were parts, obviously through about April and March, that just went so slow. That was when I was bedridden and I couldn't do anything, but since then it's kind of flown by, which in our case, very good, because I want this baby out of me already, and we're only 20 weeks, halfway there. But yeah, today I surprised myself even. I have some work in progress. I guess I say I have some whip progress, but that's redundant. I worked on my whips. There we go. That's a better way of saying it. Wasn't a ton because I started on, it was Sunday. So what had happened is my husband went to cook food and I was like feeling this huge itch to work on my row 1 blanket. Also, sorry, my girls are trying to kill each other. They usually don't play this early in the morning like this, but I guess here they are. I say early and it's like almost 10 o'clock. Usually they wait till like the afternoon though, but sorry if you hear growling and stuff. Anyways, husband went to cook dinner on Sunday and I was feeling this huge itch to work on. Why, hello to you too. Oh no, baby, stop. No squeaking. No. You just give it. Come here, give me a fish. Thank you. No. There you go. Okay. Took that away. Anyways, feeling this huge itch to work on my row 1 blanket. And so I looked through all of my knitting bags that were sitting right next to my bed, and I did not find it. It's in the closet right there. And I was too lazy to go grab it, so I just picked on, the next project that I knew that I needed to get started because it's getting, we have 4 months left. It's plenty of time still to finish these. But it's something that I really want done for when the baby's born. So we started on, I don't know if you remember, but I am making matching Musselburgh hats for me and my husband and our baby Celeste for when she's born. So my husband's was just the tiny little start of the I-cord for the I-cord cast on. That's the method I like to use. Online it said to do 8 rounds. I only do 3 to 4 rounds and then I plop it on the needles. Uses less, waste yarn, and it, like I found in the ones I've done, it still seals up just fine. But anyway, so that was all that was started of my husband. So here is his. I got his off of the DPNs and finished all of the increases, which took so long. My husband, unlike because I made hats for my whole family for Christmas, not my husband, but my dad, mom, sister, and brother. My brother and dad have just heads like that were within the medium range, so we were able just to use that same exact stitch count and everything, and they fit them perfectly. But my husband, in his own words, has a big head. And he really does. Like, there's times where he, will try on hats in the store, like beanies, and they just, they do not fit. It looks like a kid's hat on him. So I went with the extra large size after doing a lot of measurements. I had him try my Musselburgh hat on for size comparison. And we just decided to go with the biggest size. So instead of... Let's see, mine is, you end up with 38 stitches per side, and there's 4 sides essentially when you're doing the increases. Obviously it makes a circle because you're knitting in the round. His has 46 stitches on each side. So basically 10 more stitches. So his is gonna take a lot longer because that means that is 40 more stitches per round that I have to knit on. I guess, sorry, not 10, it's 8, but still it's 32 more stitches per round that I have to knit on, which will just take a little bit longer, which isn't that big of a deal, but it is what it is. And also, yes, this is there is always a little hole at the top that will be closed up before we seal it. And you can see right here, the little, I like to call it the little belly button, that's the little I-cord. So you use this waste yarn on the end and you just sew up the middle of that will hold. But anyways, his is now on the needles, ready to be worked in the round for however long. I asked him if he wanted a brim, and he didn't care, so we're going to see kind of how I'm feeling when we get to about the length we need for his hat. But yeah, that one will be put on hold for just a little bit as I get the other two ready. But yeah, here is little Cece or Celeste's hat. Hers was like super fast and quick. I basically did this in, I think it was 2 weeks, including the increases and then all of this. But hers is now back on the DPNs for the decreases. I didn't do a ton, just about an inch. I started this last night. Did the first, you do 1 decrease and then you knit 3 rounds and then you do the rest of the decreases. So I did that still on the, I had hers on, I think it was an 8-inch circular because it was so tiny. Me and my husband's are on 16-inch circulars. But that is what I did on hers, and I'm planning to finish this today. And then tomorrow I will start my hat. So very exciting things. The only thing is we might have to get another one of these reds because there's only one. I was just gonna do, I could still do it, just do stripes on me and my husband's. And that might end up working, and I might have to do the inside of his brim in the red. We'll see when we get there kind of what I'm feeling, but for now that is what it is. But yeah, really proud of myself for picking knitting up. It was so much fun yesterday as I was watching. I've been in the mood to watch what is it called? Pregnancy like teen drama shows. So I've been going back and watching past seasons of Unexpected. And oh my goodness, it just makes me so much more grateful for my husband Emmer, that we're both like educated and mature people and that we're bringing this little baby into the world. Because sometimes, and I think all expectant parents have this, unless like it's like your subsequent baby and you kind of know what you're in for. But you kind of get like weird panic attacks at times of like, oh my goodness, can we really do this? Like raising a newborn is so hard, and they just kind of send you on home, from the hospital with this baby and expect you to be able to take care of it. It's not like, adopting a dog where there's like a bunch of prerequisites, and like, even like BB and Chani, right? For Chani, we had to pass a background check of sorts, or they had to, we had to have references. You don't have that for having a normal baby. They just, you do the deed, you have a baby, and then they send you on home with it. So, but watching that Unexpected, and then just remembering how many people have babies and raise them that are not as, I hate to put it this way, but not as like emotionally intelligent, and I feel like just they don't have as good of a relationship as me and Emmer do. Like, we're such a team, we do everything together, and I know that we're gonna get through it and figure out how to raise little Cece in the best way possible. But yeah, but there are some duds on there. Like, one of the guys thought, when they were telling how they got pregnant, one of the guys thought that men ovulate like women, and so he was like, we can do it because I'm not ovulating right now. And then they got pregnant, obviously. Really funny. The thing that like makes me most mad is like these poor teenage girls going into labor in the show, and their partners just be like, oh, it's not that bad, suck it up. Or like, oh, you're getting annoying, stop complaining about how bad your contractions are. So last night I went to Emmer, I'm like, thank you, because I know you're not going to do that. And like, he would, I think, rather jump off a cliff than tell me my pain wasn't real and wasn't, bad, and try to comfort me. So very happy with that. But that's all of the yarny and knitting stuff. At least it's more than like I have had, which I'm very proud of myself. But next week, Cece's hat should be off the needles at least. I probably won't sew in the last end until, what's it called? Until, now it's just flown over my head. until the other ones are done, or at least to the point where I have to sew in, the button end on them, just because I don't like sewing in ends, or weaving in ends, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, that will probably wait for a little bit, but it will be off the needles hopefully by the end of the night, and mine will hopefully be on the needles by the end of the night. So happy little dance there. Let's see, pregnancy stuff this week. I guess we had a lot happen. We ordered our crib and our stroller, and I was a dud, and so we went through, I did so much research on this, because we wanted to make sure we got a good stroller. At first we were just gonna go with the Graco travel system, it's great stroller, great travel system. It does what it needs to do. But my mom pointed out, hey, you're gonna not just have the stroller for the baby's first year or two, you're gonna have it for 4, 5, 6 plus years. Baby, hey! Shh. Quiet. Can you be quiet? Thank you. That's good girl. Anyways, you're gonna have the stroller for a lot longer than you think. So I was like, oh, I kind of forgot about that. So we did quite a bit of research on the stroller, and I didn't realize how many different options of strollers there are. Nowadays, there are so many. She's going crazy. But anyways, one of the options that was pointed out to me, both by my mom as an option, hey, you might want to get a stroller that could convert later on down the line if you decide you want to have another kid. That way you don't have to have 2 strollers or buy another one. Oh, here they both come. Do I need to lock you girls up? I might. They're playing tug of war now over a toy, which they hardly do, so it's fun to see them do that. But anyways, there they go. Hey! But anyway, so we did the research. There's really 2 models of single to double strollers that are really good and have really good reviews, and that is the UPPAbaby and the Mockingbird. And my family members have heard out the wazoo about these 2. And poor Emmer. Basically, they're the same thing. They do the same thing. They both convert from a single to a double to even a triple. They have a little scooter thing you can put on the back. If you have 3 kids and your 7, 8-year-old kid wants to still, kind of ride on the stroller. But one of them, the base model, costs $599. The other one, the base model, costs $1,199. There really is no other difference between the 2. The only things that I saw from review videos and review websites and reviews on each of their websites was that the UPPAbaby, which is the $1,200 stroller, can be a little lighter. It can be a little more compact. But other than that, there really isn't a difference. And so we decided to go with the Mockingbird. We like the color choice. We got to choose a little green visor for our stroller. It's still, you're able to get, on both of these, you're able to do this where you can get a car seat adapter where, which I don't remember on the UPPAbaby if you can do other car seats other than theirs, but the Mockingbird, they don't have their own car seat, but they have car seat adapters for other car seats. And the one that we were looking at is an adapter that you can get through them. So, for this particular stroller. So that's what we went with. But anyways, that's to say, I was dumb and I was this was a big pregnancy brain moment where one night I was like, okay, time to order the stroller, got on, went through their strollers. I'm like, oh, instead of $599, it's $400. Awesome. We save some money. Add it to cart, purchased it without even double checking. And then it wasn't even the next day, it was an hour later, I was going through the registry just to take the stroller off so that nobody else would buy it since we had already gotten it. And And I was like, okay, the price difference on here too is $5.99, which is weird because that's what I thought. But then when I purchased it, it was like $400. So then I went back. I had gotten just the single one, not the one that converts to a double. So we had to do this whole big return because they're very fast at their warehouse, which is awesome. But it was a problem for us because we were like, we need to get this stroller returned. So we sent it back this week, and then we got the single to double. But the stroller is amazing, super easy to put together. My husband loves it. It's super easy to, put up and take down. The seat configuration, super easy to change how little Celeste will sit in it. And we also ended up getting their bassinet. We didn't get the carrier for it. But we figured, we go to a lot of family parties and we do a lot of things with my family in particular, just because they're out here. My mom's side is extremely close. And then when my Gabby and Granddad are here during the fall and winter, because they go up to Montana usually for the summer, they will throw, every month they have a big family dinner. And usually we're there for, over 2 hours, usually 3-4 hours visiting with everyone. And one thing that I learned that I did not know is that babies should only be in a car seat or like strapped in a car seat for 2 hours. And so we wanted little Cece, especially when she's really young, to have a place to rest still, to lay down when she's not being held or passed around or fed. That's safe for her. So we got their bassinet. We put the bassinet stand from Mockingbird on our registry because we already have a bassinet that will be in the house. But this is one we can at least take places with us. That isn't like a whole packing play. And then it's nice if we want to go like on longer stroller walks or, somewhere. Because I know in the spring, they do the big Tulip Festival. We did that this year. We'd love to go again next year. So that's something that it's a long walk. It's not just a 2-hour thing. It's like 3, 4, 5 hours. We would need, a nice safe place to have her stay. So that's why we decided to get that. I was originally not going to, but I brought it up with my husband, and it's also one because our bassinet will stay up here. It's nice because it has wheels, so we can wheel it in between her bedroom and our bedroom and the office. But if we're downstairs lounging on the couch, she would, and we didn't want to hold her or she wanted to sleep, not on one of us, then we would want a nice little safe place for her as well to sleep. So that's why we ended up getting that. My husband made the final say. He said, just get it. It sounds like a fantastic idea. I don't know why we wouldn't do it. So there we go. We got that too. But that also hooks onto the stroller. Super easy to take on and off, which we really liked. The ease and convenience of it all. So yeah. That's the stroller. And then we got our baby monitor came in the mail yesterday. We were going between the Owlet and the Nest Egg. And the Nest Egg just ended up having, from what I saw, better and more consistent reviews. Both of them they connect to your phone. I think it's over Wi-Fi. And that's the one thing people don't like about it, is it is over Wi-Fi. So technically people can tap into the feed to watch your baby sleeping, which seems really weird. But it's either that or to have an actual monitor that's just a internal loop. So we decided, just because Emmer's gonna be at work, and then there's days where I'm gonna also be at work after my maternity leave, and we both would want to keep an eye on her to at least know she's okay while we're away from her, that this was the best option. So that's what we went with. It came yesterday. We're very excited. We haven't opened it. I've set most of the things up in the room, in her little nursery, but we did not set that up because, knowing myself and my husband, one of us would knock it over and it would break before. So we're leaving that until we do our big, nesting experience around week, I want to be ready around week 35. So that's probably when we'll do that, or at least start to get most of that ready. So we still have 15 weeks. Crazy. That's 3 months away. But yeah. So that came. The other thing that came was the mattress for the bassinet. And her bassinet's really cool. It is from Nest Egg. It converts from a crib to a bassinet to a toddler bed. So it was it wasn't like super that much more expensive than the other cribs that we were looking at that were just cribs. And I did the math, like many times I did the math of like, okay, let's get like the cheapest bassinet you can get, because she's only gonna be in the bassinet for like 3 to 6 months. And then she'll be probably in the crib. But even the cheapest bassinet with the crib we liked, and it was like a cheaper crib that we liked too, it cost about the same. So we're like, let's just get this one that will convert also into a toddler bed, and then we don't have to worry about that further on down the line. We can just have the same thing through, you know, her initial growing up years. So that is awesome. I am very excited. It has very high reviews. I know a lot of, because I watched a lot of, you know, unboxing videos or like review my registry videos with moms to be, and then they would do subsequent videos. This was very helpful. They did subsequent videos after just the initial unboxing of, hey, this is like, we've been using it for this long and this is like our thoughts on it. Kind of like a review video, I guess. And all the ones I watched that had the nest egg in it, they were phenomenal. They all loved it. They all said it was amazing. And it was one of like the best kind of like splurge, it's not really a splurge purchase, but splurge purchases that they made. So yeah, that will be here by hopefully next month. It said that it would ship, it was like the beginning of July. So hopefully, sorry, next week or the week after, I think is when it ships. So hopefully that'll be here soon. And then once that's here, at least all the big things in the nursery are set, and all the big things for baby we'll have. So then it's just getting the little things like clothes and diapers and, you know, the little play mat and, you know, things like that. But those are all in the registry. We'll wait till after, you know, after our baby shower and or showers. I don't know if I'm having a couple. My family likes to throw parties, so there might be a couple. But we're gonna wait till after that to get everything else. But at least like the big stuff in the nursery is done and set up. So we're very happy about that. Yeah, that is really that. Pregnancy wise, this week hasn't been terrible. It's just kind of been same old. I throw up about half the days now, so it's gone at least down a little bit, but you know, still enough to where every morning I'm like, am I gonna throw up before I go to work? Am I gonna be running out the door and then need to run back around and puke in the toilet? You just never know. It's always stomach acid and stomach bile. Again, my empty stomach or little CC just doesn't like that, I guess. There's some mornings too where I'll eat and it's still just been sitting in there and I'll still throw it up. Luckily not at work. That's when usually I'm at home. On my day off that happens. But yeah, just like off and on. It's more so now too, I'm not feeling like nauseous all the time. It's definitely though, because my stomach is sitting higher, I've been getting like, and luckily it hasn't been bad, but I have been getting some heartburn, and some like acid reflux, just because again, there's less room in my stomach now because Cece's taken up a good portion of it already. But yeah, it's just something you have to deal with, and it's gonna be here the rest of the pregnancy, so yay. But yeah, we're headed into week 20. Well, we're halfway through week 20 now. And the next week, obviously, that's week 21. Very excited because we're over halfway through the second trimester now. So that just makes me feel better. Yeah, we have about a month and a half left, and then, third trimester kicks in, so that will be very good. But yeah, the next big thing is next week is her ultrasound. Last week I think I got these mixed up. It's ultrasound on the 2nd, and then on the 9th it's her fetal echocardiogram. So those are just a week apart. Basically same thing. We're just gonna take the wand on my belly and look at her, make sure she's doing okay. So we're very excited for that. Excited to see her again because it has been all the way since our anatomy scan it was 13 weeks that we last saw her. So it's been like over 2 months since we've seen her. I think I've started to feel kicks. I might have said that last week. It's really hard to tell if it is just digestion or if it's her just, kind of punching. Everyone says with your first pregnancy, it's really hard to tell. My husband's really funny though. The other day he put his hand on my belly because rubbing it helps it feel better, helps calm her down maybe, or maybe it's just all in my head. But he was doing that out of the kindness of his heart yesterday. He was like, I think I feel her. And I'm like, honey, you can't feel her. Trust me. You can't feel her yet. You'll be able to eventually, but not right now. She's too small. But it was really cute because he's super excited for that big milestone as well. But yeah, let's see. Shows we've been watching. Now the pregnancy talk's over. Oh, the other thing, dry skin. I've been getting a lot of dry skin. My stomach has started to itch, which I know is a thing. I have started to get more stretch marks, which I am not like opposed with. They're mostly along like my sides. Yeah, I don't really care about stretch marks. I've always had them like on my butt and thighs mostly, which is where most women get them anyways. For me, it just shows just how amazing and strong my body is. I know a lot of women hate them and they don't like want them at all, but I honestly could care less. Just shows what my body's been through and how strong it is. But yeah, dry skin, we got a humidifier. I don't remember if I said this last week, and we got a lot of lotion, so I've started to rub that on my belly. What else? Oh, my cheeks have been it's like the pregnancy glow. They've been more like flushed, or they have like a blush tint to them now, naturally. And I've noticed my hair started to get thicker. And my nails have been growing faster, which are both common pregnancy signs as well. Trying to think if there's anything else. Oh yes, having all sorts of fun aches and pains in my back and my stomach. And this morning, I think I felt my first Braxton Hicks contractions. Hard to tell. It could have just been Mary needs to use the bathroom contractions as well, or pains, I guess. That's what I should say, as I was laying in bed trying not to get out. But yeah, all fun things that you get to deal with during pregnancy, and they all suck. The good things, definitely, I know that they'll outweigh the negatives once we get little Cece here. It's just getting her here that's the hard part. But yeah, this week's been pretty good. We also had our anniversary this last week. Really funny because both me and my husband kind of forgot about it, and so we didn't, we were going to maybe go to the X Games were here, but then we both were kind of like, no, we want a lazy day, because we had a family event the next day to attend, so we're like, let's just take it nice and easy. And so we did, but then we both kind of forgot. We didn't get gifts or anything, but we did go out to dinner. My husband's cute. I'm like, I don't really care. I spent the day with my husband. That's all that matters. And we're still together. But he's like, I need to do a makeup date and make this better. I'm like, you're fine. We've had so much going on. We have a baby on the way. We are fine. But he's so sweet to do that. So this Saturday we might do something a little bigger. So yeah, that was 3 years of marriage and 4 years since we officially started dating. So really cool. It's almost been half a decade of knowing him. He's funny. Emmer says it only feels like a year, and I'm like, are you serious? Not in a bad way. It feels like we've been together and we've known each other for way longer. And all the best ways, just because, we're each other's best friends, and I don't think that's ever going to change, and it's something I'm extremely grateful for, and I don't ever want to take for granted. Yeah, that was really all that happened this week. Oh, it was also my husband's birthday. Was that Tuesday? No, it was last Tuesday. Yeah, that was fun. We gave him a little present. We didn't do anything huge. Again, because we have a baby on the way, gotta save that money. But we did get him some nice presents, which he was very appreciative of. But yeah, I think that was it. Media that we've been watching, we can go over that. I went over what to or unexpected. Great. Great. I like it for being pregnant because you get to see a whole scope. There's people, or some of the girls on there that, like, there was one in her 3rd trimester throwing up every day still. I'm like, girl, that's me. I'm like, that is me. Like, I'm glad I'm not the only one that, you know, is sick the entire way through and just like miserable, but you know, we still push on and we still keep going. And then there's other ones that are like, I didn't even feel anything. I wouldn't have even known that I was pregnant if I didn't have a belly. And, but yeah, it makes me, you know, it just makes you feel not as alone, and that, like, even though these are teenage girls and it's a reality show, obviously, so that's been kind of helping me through some of the like weirder, harder days, I guess. We watched, there's a new like series, I guess, if you can call it that. It would be more of an anthology series, if anything, called Trainwreck on Netflix. And so the first one we watched was the Travis Scott Astroworld, which I knew quite a bit about because Swoop had a documentary on her channel about that I watched. Swoop is a YouTuber. She deep dives into internet drama and all, you know, all those bad things. So, and true crime, which I love. So I watched her series a while ago. But it was fun to get a different perspective, and they brought in, expertise in crowd safety. So really cool to see their perspective on it and how it went wrong. We liked it so much. There was then a Woodstock 99 one that I know has been on there a while because it's been popping up for what seems like years. And so we watched that one, and then there was one other about, I forgot the one it was, I think it was called Mayor of Mayhem was what they called it. Some mayor in Canada. He ended up dying, but he was elected, and then he like did a bunch of crack cocaine because he was already addicted to it. Yeah, great mayor in Canada. Reminded us a lot of Trump. It was really interesting because they made a lot of comparisons between the two and how Trump kind of like, because this guy got through, Trump was almost able to replicate and do kind of the same thing here in America, but on a larger scale. But yeah, very interesting. And then the last one, which is the one we were most excited about. And the one why we were excited about this is because, so my grandparents, this year, they decided to take everyone on a big cruise this summer. But they booked it before we even knew we were pregnant. So we were super excited to go. Found out we were pregnant. And then one day we were like, oh, we should look up, like, this was like before my morning sickness was even that bad. But we were like, we should look up if I can even go on a cruise while pregnant. Glad that we did, because they picked, of course, one of 2 cruise lines that prohibits pregnant ladies over, I think it's 24 weeks pregnant. And at that point, I will be 26 weeks pregnant. It's like I missed the deadline by 2 weeks. And so we are no longer able to go on this cruise with them. They're being very generous, and they just gave us the money that they would have spent on our cruise tickets, or they got a refund for it. And then they gave it to us so we could plan our own vacation. So instead we're going to Disney World. But anyways, now that we can't go on a cruise, my husband, who's like kind of like a doomsday prep person, I would say, he always thinks of like the worst of the worst of what could happen. And one of the things that he like has said he never wants to go on actually is a cruise. And so it was going to be a big thing for him to go on one with our whole family. And he was going to do it because he loves them and he wants to spend time with them. But he was also kind of happy when he found out we didn't have to go on the cruise. But anyways, the Trainwreck that came on Netflix last night was the Poop Cruise. And it was a cruise that I think it was 10, 15 years ago from Carnival. There was a fire, and the fire like knocked out all of their power lines so bad that like they didn't even have working toilets because the toilets used electricity to flush, I guess. And like there was, when the boat started tugging, because they had been going in like showers and just doing their business in the toilets, but not being able to flush. When the tugboat started tugging and the ship tilted, all the sewage water kind of leaked everywhere. And by kind of, I mean it did, and it was disgusting and definitely a biohazard. And I would have thrown all of my clothes and luggage and everything. I told Emmer, I was like, I could have made it up to the point where the sewage water was everywhere, and then I would have jumped overboard because I'm a big germaphobe, he knows that. And if I had to start walking through sewage water, I couldn't do it. There's a lot of things I can do. That's one thing I cannot do. But anyways, so that was fun to watch, like how the worst of the cruise go wrong, and kind of be grateful in a way, a weird way, that we're not going on a cruise. It's more so to make us feel better about not being able to go on the cruise with our family, but you know, you do what you can to cope. So that was fun. We watched, it was called on HBO, The Mortician, which is about this guy in LA whose family was running a funeral home. And I told them at the beginning, I'm like, it's gonna go to, they're chopping up bodies and stealing body parts and selling them on the black market, and they're stealing jewelry and like gold teeth. And exactly that's what happened. It was like the worst of the worst. They were cremating, like, at first it was like 10, 15 bodies at a time instead of just one, you know, your one family member being cremated and getting their ashes. So people were getting like a mix of ashes back, which to me, I'm like, I get it. I get why people were upset about that, but also, like, if it were me, I would just want ashes that represented my, you know, my parents back. Both of them want to be buried though, so we won't have to worry about that. But yeah, so that was that one. That one was really interesting. And then it went even further, and he's like admitted, well, all but admitted to killing people. So that was very interesting too, that it was like he also had like a little gang on the side of his mortuary. And then, we watched How to Train Your Dragon, not the live action one. We were gonna go see the movie on Saturday, but both of us, again, we were just so exhausted. And so we just decided to have a night in. My husband had never seen the original, so we were like, well, let's just watch the original when it's on HBO. So we did just that, and he loved it. He thought it was so cute, and just a good, wholesome movie. So that was fun. I think that was all really that we have watched. We're trying to find like a new series since we finished The Pit. The Pit was so good. We want more of it. But I don't know if we want like medical drama stuff. It's hard for me with TV series now because I'm like, I just don't want anything that's like super over dramatized. You know, I want something that's more like real life. That's just how I am though. But we will eventually find something. I think that is everything. Just been, other than that, grooming away at dogs, doing house chores. Our house chores kind of piled up, so I did a ton of them last week, which is why I think I was so tired, because I knocked them all out within like 2 days. Yeah, we're starting to get better and get back on top of that, especially as the baby is, well, I would say fast approaching. We're at the halfway mark, so yeah, kind of getting down to crunch time, I'd say. But yeah, we have 2 fun vacations coming up in the next 2 months, so we're very excited about that. Well, one of the, I would say 2 fun, really 1 fun, 1 business that is also fun. First one we're going on is AGM with my husband. Funny enough, both of them are to Orlando. And that one is a big work trip. Every year they call it the annual gathering meeting or something like that. So AGM is what it stands for. But every year they have like a big meeting where they fly everyone out to this location. And typically every other year they also invite all of the families. So the first year I did not get to go. It was to Chicago. My husband went for, it was just like 2-3 days. He says everyone gets super, super drunk because it's free alcohol. He did not, though. We abstained from alcohol in our family. But it was really funny to hear the stories that first year of him being like, yeah, I even walked around and saw the CEO just like totally blitzed, couldn't do or say anything. But I mean, hey, he's paying for it, so we might as well enjoy it, right? And then last year we went to Mexico. That was super fun. Even though it rained the whole time, we still had a blast there. Got to meet a lot of cool people and eat a lot of yummy food. And we did a lot of fun things while we were there too. And then this year they're doing Orlando. And they decided this year to bring all the families because in 2 years it is I believe it's 2 years. It's the 25th anniversary of the company, and so they want to do something big. They want to invite all the families, and so instead of doing the smart business move where they do 2 years without families and then go back to their normal every other year schedule, they decided to do the fun thing and do 2 years with families. So this year isn't as big as Mexico, I'd say. And my husband definitely said that the first group they do it in 2 groups. That way the whole company isn't out at one time. So the first group just got back this week. They said definitely not as fun as Mexico, not as much to do, but it was still a lot of fun. They're gonna rent part of Universal Studios out for a night. So we can go enjoy that, even though I won't be able to ride any of the roller coasters. At least my husband will be able to. And so he'll have a good time doing that. So that will be a lot of fun. It's at a really fancy hotel. They want us to wear like best dress. So this week I actually had to try on one of my dresses to make sure it still fit even with my changing body. Thank goodness it does. It was a slightly oversized baby doll dress that we got for his Christmas party. And it's like one of my favorite dresses, so gorgeous. I just never wear it because it is a little more on the formal side of things. But it still fits. So I'm excited to wear this in a couple weeks. And yeah, there's just a lot of yummy food. Room service is free. So nice with a pregnant lady. I can eat all the food I want because I will need it. Me and baby will need it. There's apparently like a huge pool with a giant water slide. Again, I can't go on the water slide, but Emmer definitely will. So that will be a lot of fun. But also there are some like work events, that Emmer will have to obviously go to, which is fine. And yeah, so that will be great. And then about a month after that is when we go to Disney. So yeah, 2 super fun vacations, almost back to back. Just like last summer, all of our big vacations happen like within a month of each other, which is awesome. But it is a lot of travel at the same time, especially for a expecting mother, but we will get through it. Luckily they're fun things and not terrible things. And also luckily we're going to Disney. I say this in the kindest way, with just me and Emmer. And if we were going with my father, he would want to get up as early as possible every morning and stay till very late in the park. Sorry about that. My phone decided to run out of battery because I guess all the things I had put into, because every week I'll upload the video, put it into, the trash once I'm done uploading it. And I guess the last like 4-hour-long videos didn't actually get deleted. They were just sitting in the trash. So we deleted those. So I will figure out a way to stitch these 2 together. We're almost done, which made me kind of mad, but that's okay. Anyways, we were talking about Disney. If I were to have gone with my, I don't want to say extended family, they're still my immediate family, my mom and my dad. My dad's the type of person that wants to get up as early as possible and stay till as late as possible. Typically, I am that way too, but for this trip, me and Emma are like, we just want to take it easy. All the like big rides, like at Disney, there are so many rides you can go on as a pregnant person. Thank goodness. We did the research before we got the tickets, obviously, and before, we started planning. And a big reason is a lot of it is built for kids. So it works for pregnant ladies as well, because you don't want little kids, who don't have fully developed bodies being tossed around. Same with pregnant ladies. You don't want them being tossed around because there's a baby in their belly. So most of the rides that we typically would like plan out and, get there early to ride, we don't, I literally can't ride them. And if Emmer wants to ride them, he can go in the single rider lane. There's a couple I know specifically in, I believe it's Epcot and I think Hollywood Studios are the two that he really wants to go on. So totally fine by me. I'll just go get ice cream or something by myself while he rides that ride. Won't take longer than probably 20 minutes, and we'll be back together and can go, ride Cinderella's castle for the 80th time or whatever. But no, we're just excited to be able to go and have some time together and really have like some fun time before, we have this baby and take this next step. This really is like our last, well, we're calling it our baby moon now, but it is like the last big thing we'll be able to do together before little Cece comes into our lives, which we're so excited for. But I mean, me and Emmer, for a while, we spoke just of how much we just love, we love what we have. We have each other. We come home and like, well, what do you want to do? Well, I don't know. What do you want to do? Okay, let's go play games or something. Like we just have all the same interests and we just have kind of a good routine going. And yes, change is always scary. I guess for us, this next step, it hasn't necessarily been scary, other than like a few hiccups here and there and a few, small panic attacks, I would say. Not really panic attacks, I want to say. Little anxiety attacks, we'll call it that. But for the most part, we felt really, really good about, Cece coming and our preparedness for that. But, it's going to be a big adjustment still to have another little baby and person that we have to take care of and deal with. But we're very excited. But anyways, that's not to say we're excited to have like one last vacation together. That's going to be all pure fun, where we can just go, be basically like a kid for a little bit. But yeah, that I think is all I have this week. Still grooming lots of dogs. We've been getting lots of clients, which is awesome. And this week, or not this week, next week is 4th of July week, so we should have a lot of dogs being booked again. Typically, I've noticed at PetSmart, my dogs would come usually with seasons. You'd have summer shave down season, which was one of your big times where you'd be almost fully booked, like basically all summer long. And that's because especially all the doodle parents would see their doodles and be like, oh, they're really like long and fluffy and they probably don't want that for summer. Turns out they were matted, and so we would have to shave them down, hence the name Summer Shave Down. So that was your summer shave down season. Usually fall is a little like hit or miss. You have back to school, usually that hits mid-August to September. And then that usually goes to October. You usually only see your loyal clients through that time. And then November comes, and typically it's the week before Thanksgiving, all hell breaks loose, and you are booked through the wazoo because everyone, including those that never come in, want their dog to be looking their best for their family. So you get a lot of dogs that are, like you get both your normal clients, but also you get the clients that never show up and the dogs don't know any table manners. So it's an interesting time. And then that typically goes all the way through Christmas season. That's your next busiest season. And then it falls back off for the winter and usually spring months. But I have found it interesting with this new job, being at this new location for about 6 months. There hasn't been that many lulls, I would say, except for when there isn't like a huge holiday where a lot of people are booking. Usually I'll be booked like crazy out the window when there are big holidays where people are boarding their dogs. And then they will also want to get their dogs groomed while they are staying with us. That way they don't have to, bring their dog to 5 different places. They could just bring it to one place. So like this week, there wasn't a major holiday. Last week was Juneteenth. So we had a lot of people staying over the long weekend with us, or not people, a lot of dogs staying over the long weekend because their owners were out of town. And I'm imagining 4th of July, which will be this next week, will be very similar, where a lot of people are going out of town or just wanting to book their dogs in a safe space for, for the day or a couple days as the fireworks finish going off. So, yeah, that has been interesting, but I still get lots of dogs. I'm very happy about that. We recently had a services change, which was an adjustment at first. Still is, because a lot of people don't know the difference between a full bath and a premium bath, or a mini groom and a groom. They changed the name from a bath and a trim to a mini groom, and that's like been the bane of my existence. I hate that they did that, because people with small dogs think, oh, my dog's small, it's a mini groom. Nope, that's not what it means. It means you get just a face trim and a butt trim, and obviously the paws trimmed. But it's also weird because the full bath, I'm used to a full bath from PetSmart, including nails, ear cleaning, and then shaving the sanitary and the paw pads if the pet parents want, and trimming up the paw pads and brushing. But our full bath only includes, and I hate this, it only includes the bath and nails. There's not even brushing included, and that drives me crazy. If you want brushing, you either have to add it on separately, which then it costs the same as a premium bath, so just upgrade to the premium bath. Or yeah, you book the premium bath, but really frustrating. Yes, it does make it easier on us, and it makes it so I can do more dogs. Like if it's a lab, I don't have to spend, 5 minutes brushing it with the rubber curry brush because I have to. You can just bathe it, get it in and out, and then get working on your next dog. But for like doodles and little like Shih Tzus and stuff that need it, need that brushing, it is kind of frustrating, because then you're like sending a dog with knots home, and that's not okay, but the pet parents said they didn't want brushing. So that has been kind of really hard to get over. Luckily, usually when I recommend things, most pet parents agree, and they're like, sure, do whatever you think my dog needs, which is awesome. I love that they put that trust in me, because I just want their dogs taken care of and in the best condition possible. But that's been an adjustment. But that being said, that change also meant we were able to increase grooming prices, because we had to, now instead of, I think it's 4 services, we have 5. So we had to go and put, a price in the middle, and that increased the full grooming prices by just a little bit. I try not to increase my prices by much, because I know grooming can be expensive. And usually with add-ons, every single dog is typically hitting around that $100 mark, which is a lot. I know, especially in this economy. So I don't want people to be paying, $150 to $200 for, a little Shih Tzu to be cut. That's not okay. Obviously, if it's a Husky that's like has compaction and needs like all that, de-shed treatment, that price is justified, but not for just a little Shih Tzu haircut. So try to keep our prices pretty good. But yeah, that is everything. I've got to get going. I have an appointment with my mother we're going to try to pick out a couch today. So excited, because we are trying to get our living room, both our living room and now our bedroom in, proper working order for little Cece to come and join us. We know that we're going to have a lot of family want to come visit us, and help us out with the baby. We're very fortunate to have that. But we now need to have, we've had our dinky little handmade couch that we made back in Colorado with some extra, bed parts. Worked very well for us for the time being. But we want both me and Emmer to have a more comfortable spot to sit. We want Cece to have a more comfortable spot to sit. And the couch that we're hoping for, it goes all the way to the floor. So that means we don't have to dig BB's balls out of, that sounds bad. Dig BB's tennis balls, there we go, out from underneath the couch. Because she loves to throw them under there right now. Yeah, you're crazy. And so that will be a big help as well while we are recovering from having a baby. But yeah, we will see you next week. I will have progress, because now I'm knitting again, knock on wood. But yeah, I'm more happy about knitting and more into it than I have been for the past while, and it's feeling really good. I'm even today going to get a pattern for some little cardigans for Cece, because I have all that cotton yarn, and I want to make her some cardigans in all different colors to match all of her many cute little outfits that she'll be having. Anyways, we will see you next week. Probably. I do have my ultrasound next week, so we'll see actually. I should have time though. But we will see you then. Bye-bye.